makeup. Somebody once said to me, this is going back on videos, this is going back really the early days, "Dear Sue, please sort your eyebrows out. You look like got cotton."
I bet you went and did it though.
I did. Hi and welcome. If you're new to my channel, I'm Sue Blackhurst, and for my new viewers and subscribers, welcome, and I hope to see you again. For my regular viewers and subscribers, a massive thank you for watching and supporting the channel. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, that button, you're not subscribing to a magazine or a monthly subscription that you can't get out of. That little red button purely says thank you for the video and that you've enjoyed watching it. My videos, we have the gorgeous, wonderful, amazing, gorgeous, wonderful Heidi. Heidi and I discuss things, all things Harry and Meghan, but we try and put a slant on it that's also to help you relate to situations and circumstances in your own life. So please do keep comments coming, and don't forget to like the video and give us your thoughts. And today's video, we're talking about, is it fair to compare?
Yeah.
Right, so Heidi, is it fair to compare? Now, who are we comparing?
Meghan and Kate.
Meghan and Kate.
Yeah.
Are they being compared?
Yes. Yes. All the time. All the time. Wasn't that so unfair, really? When they were talking about the Kate's baby bump and what she did with her hands and what Meghan did with her hands, and yeah.
Okay, and I think that's a really great point, and it's probably a fabulous thing to start off with, because I totally agree, because when Kate did it, and I've had 2 children, you've had 4, and you do, it's a natural thing to do it. But when Meghan did it, it actually did make me go, ugh. So why was that? What is the difference? And I don't believe it is simply the fact that they cradled their baby bump or had their hands on their baby bump. There's more to it, because we weren't comparing that one isolated situation. That, I think, was almost like the last straw amongst a whole other set of behaviours.
There's lots of behavioural experts that have reviewed and looked and watched probably hours and hours and hours of tape footage of Meghan, and yes, it has been concluded by these experts that she has narcissistic tendencies. However, what that does though is that sets a scene for us. You know that we believe what experts say.
Yeah.
Are we in a position where we've had the scene set for us?
It's something called selective viewing, primacy effect, priming. So if you go out and buy a red car, for example, once you buy a red car, how many red cars do you see out there?
Absolutely.
Once the expert comes out and they've labelled or named Meghan and said she does have narcissistic traits and behaviours, once we receive that, what we then do is we start to look for them. So everything that she does, we go, that actually confirms the label that she's been given. But the label has been given, I also believe, quite justified, because it isn't, you know, when we're looking at body language, we talk about clusters, and you cannot take one in isolation. So, for example, the classic one, people say, oh, if you've got your arms closed, you're being defensive. No, if you've got your arms closed, maybe you're defensive if also your head and your eyes and everything else looks. But if you actually change your head, and you have a softer facial expression, all of a sudden you become interested. If then you sit back and you do it, you become comfortable. If then you do that, you become cold. So that same mannerism of one gesture people look at and they say is defensive isn't, depending upon a whole cluster of other mannerisms, behaviours that we see. Now, this is where I think Kate and Meghan differ, because Kate did something. She placed her hands on her bump. But what she was also doing was almost relaxing her hands. She was almost resting. She was almost, you know, whereas Meghan, she was almost doing it, looking for the camera and almost posing and having that, it's a funny word, is smug, but it actually sums the way up I feel about looking at some of the pictures. It's this smug look. So whereas we only compared hands on bumps, what we received as the message was the whole cluster of behaviours, and that's why I believe it was different. They both did the same thing. We liked it when Kate did it because the cluster gave a very natural, very endearing, very genuine person, new mum to be. Meghan was almost the cat that's got the cream. I've got this baby. I've got the man. I've got in the family. Look at what I've achieved. I'm set for life.
Is that around self-worth? Is that around Kate fundamentally feeling good enough and Meghan not? I would argue that the person who feels okay about themselves isn't looking at what anybody else is doing. I would reflect then that Kate absolutely has a very strong core of self-worth.
Yes, yeah.
Meghan
So I'm just picking my hair.
hasn't.
Okay. For those of you who have heard me talk about my confidence 8-week Find Your Confidence Building course, Heidi's just hit on something now. So this is a bit of a taste, I suppose, of what I also cover on the confidence course. I'm going to give a little bit of, I think it might even be a roundup on week 8. There are 3 levels to confidence. We have our surface level, we have our lifestyle level, and we have our core level. This is what we're talking about with Kate. The surface level is confidence that is a mask. It's a confidence that we almost place on ourselves by the way that we dress, we do our hair, we put our makeup on. You take these people on these makeover programs and they'll do the hair, the eyebrows, the makeup, new clothes, new shoes, and they send them out and they go, oh my gosh, I look amazing. Now that is surface level because it gives them an element of confidence, but if challenged, that confidence will break. So because they look confident and they go, I feel $1 million, if you still place them into an environment that questions their self-belief, they would crumble because it's just a surface level, it would crack. A level deeper there, we have the lifestyle level. Now, lifestyle level confidence is where you look at the job you do, the people you mix with, the hobbies that you have. It's the things that actually give you confidence. So this lifestyle level of confidence is the confidence you get by the friendships, the circles, the people you mix with. And what people often do is they join a friendship group, they join a circle of friends because they want to be part of that group that they believe gives them the status and confidence that they want. Even if they don't feel comfortable or naturally part of that group, they want to be part of it because they want to be perceived at that level. Lifestyle level is great. However, if you lose the job, you lose the friendship group, your lifestyle confidence will also go because you believe your job is what held you up. When your lifestyle level of confidence is challenged, you have to then rely on the deeper level, which is the core confidence, which is the level of confidence that I give to women on the program, which is very hard for people to find and to gain and to have. Your core confidence is when you know, no matter what happens around you, you are okay. So core confidence is the confidence we're all trying to find. And people often think that being confident is going into a room, going ta-da, and the center of attention, which is what Meghan's trying to be, okay? Yeah. But core confidence is the person who can meet somebody in the room, have a very engaging conversation, they can go home and they've had a wonderful evening and they don't feel that they had to have been the center of attention in order to have been worthy. The person in the center of the room that's going, ta-da, look at me, often has very huge issues with self-belief and self-esteem because what they're craving are these strokes of recognition. So for me, Kate has a huge amount, as you said, of core confidence. She knows she'll be nervous, she'll go to events, she'll have to speak, but she knows at the end of the day that actually she can do this. She is a good person and wants the other people around her to shine. Meghan, through observation, even though people watch her and think she's this very big, strong, confident woman, I don't think she has the core confidence because what she is relying on is this surface level, dressing, shoes, everything else, and lifestyle, the people she surrounds herself with, which is why she's craving the Hollywood life. So we're comparing two people who on face value, Meghan has the confidence, Kate doesn't, but in reality, Kate has oodles more confidence, I believe, than Meghan.
I totally agree. That's so fascinating. And you know what sprang to mind as you were talking then was the essence of external verification or internal verification, and we are somewhere on the sort of scale of that. Some of us are 100% external verifiers, and what I mean by that is you are all of the time seeking other people's praise or opinion, and then there's other people that are on the other end of the line that 100% internal verifiers, where if you asked yourself the question, Sue, how do you know when you've done a good job?
I just know. I can do a video, whatever it is, and I go, yeah, I like that one. And
you are then an internal verifier first and foremost. I'm sure you like the praise, I'm sure you like the recognition, but absolutely your first step, your first core thought is, I know it for myself. And I think there's an awful lot of people, if ask themselves that question, how do you know when you've done a good job? You reply, well, I'm told, or I wait for somebody to tell me I've done a good job.
But I don't think Kate is out there reading all the social media posts and looking out there to see what the world thinks about her. Whereas I suspect Meghan panics and fears the press, which is why she's constantly having to put something out and then constantly waiting for the feedback. And maybe that comes from being in the world of acting, because, you know, when you think about it, you speak to many actors. I don't speak to many actors at all. You hear many actors speak on chat shows, whatever, and talking about, you know, some great names who also do theatre, and what they all say is how much they love the theatre because you get that instant feedback. You get in the audience, you're hearing the applause.
Yeah. What it must be like for somebody like Kylie or Robbie Williams or...
And you look like Kylie. I've always said you look like Kylie. You do look like Kylie.
I look like Kylie. Don't be so ridiculous.
You seem like her. No. No, you've always reminded me of Kylie. You've always been my Kylie doppelganger.
But no, what it must be like to stand on a stage and have thousands of people screaming your name. The come down from that must be horrendous, and you do wonder whether that is where some people...
That's it. And
come down.
But that, I think, would be an incredible feeling. But here's the difference, maybe. Kate's core confidence means that she goes and does that, and she doesn't get that public praise and that public recognition. Can Kate handle that? I think she can. Whereas Meghan goes and does it and doesn't receive that praise and public recognition, my perception is that actually she would struggle and find that a little bit more difficult.
Yes, and then I suppose then she goes out and seeks more of it.
Yeah.
So again, she's not going within.
No.
She's going
just to find more.
Find it, which, you know, to your point about a narcissist, it is about what next attention you can gravitate towards or create for yourself, isn't it?
But when we compare the differences, I believe, with Kate and Meghan, is we're comparing the difference between how their behaviour impacts us as a viewer. What I find really, really, I think, frustrating and saddening is the fact that why doesn't Meghan read or take on board some of the negative press and actually do something about it to change the way she behaves? Because it's almost bizarre how whatever people say picking up on the press, she'll fuel it by repeating it. Because in the early days with Harry, she was always putting a hand on his back. Okay, she was always there putting a hand on his back. And for me, it's a little bit like neuro-linguistic programming. It's a bit like NLP. It's almost like every time she touched him, it was reinforcing a certain behaviour from him. So she was almost saying, you know, like she programmed him or something. And that tap on his back, it's a big statement, isn't it? Allegedly.
Poor Harry.
So, I know, but that tap on the back, she does it wherever they went. Of course, the press picked up on this, leave him alone, stop putting your hand on him and leading him wherever he is.
Yeah.
Surely somebody who actually wanted to make it work would take this feedback on board, would take these comments on board and go, okay, I'm going to do something about it. I get comments on my channel, but I read these comments as feedback. I read these comments as a way of improving and delivering what the viewers and subscribers are out there. They are our customers. So I'm almost listening to them and saying, if I'm asking you to subscribe and view this channel, and you're giving me some feedback on what I do that I could improve, I will implement those steps in the same way as any business out there will. Somebody once said to me, this is going back on videos, this is going, I really did it in the early days. Dear Sue, please sort your eyebrows out. You look like got cotton.
I bet you went and did it though.
I did. And I looked at the video and I just looked. And do you know what now? Go back to my really early videos. Go back to my really early ones, probably pre-Meghan, and have a look. And then you will never see after that videos where I haven't just tightened up my eyebrows. And today I did. Is that a narcissist? Or is that I mean, I was in hysterics. I have to admit, I was in hysterics. And I did look and go, yeah, you're right. Yeah. And also I look horrendous if I've not. Being 27, of course. And you looking like Kylie.
I should be so lucky.
Yeah. So is it fair to compare? It is fair to compare. We do it all our life. We're raised comparing.
We are. And that's that, you know, it's survival, isn't it? Survival.
It is. And Meghan and Harry are a brand in a way, they're a business. People are giving them feedback and they're going, if you don't like it, I'm going to do it even more then, because they're almost being like that petulant child.
But isn't that what that is the characteristic of a narcissist? She doesn't see that she's wrong. So why should she change? Because she's right. So she's not changing, everybody else is wrong, not her.
Yeah.
So whereas you can see that you want to grow and learn and listen because you're not a narcissist.
Yeah.
It's actually not a nice word, is it, really? I like the word, really.
But we're all narcissists. We're all narcissists. We are. Every single one of us is a narcissist, because before you came on camera, did you go and check yourself in the mirror?
Completely.
Yeah. Did you look at your hair and go and check yourself and go, right, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
So did I. Yeah. And those are narcissistic traits. Do you ever, I mean, I'm looking at you on the screen now. Every now and then to flick back on yourself and make sure you look okay.
I do.
That's a narcissistic trait.
I'd be a liar if I said I didn't.
Okay, if you're out somewhere and you walk past a shop and there's a mirror and you walk past and you have a glance and just go, whatever.
Time. Yeah, all the time.
They're narcissistic traits. But again, the difference being, and again, I've talked about this in previous videos for those who've seen it, I do apologise, but narcissists, a narcissist is not something that can be treated. It is not a condition you can treat with a pill or a medication or whatever. It isn't. It isn't something like saying somebody has, you know, cold, flu, COVID, whatever it may be. Narcissist is a personality trait, just in the same way as being mean is a personality trait. You don't cure meanness with a pill or some medication. It doesn't happen. It's part of them. However, if somebody, for example, you have or you've got a bag of sweets and you don't share them, that doesn't make you mean. However, if every time we do something, you do it for yourself, you have one for you, you've got two and you keep them both for you and you don't share, and all these different things, it's the volume of those individual traits that will make somebody mean. Okay. Yeah. So the fact that you don't do something doesn't make you mean. But if you do it repeatedly and a lot of it, that makes you mean. So the thing with narcissism is, we're all narcissists, and we all do it. If we post something on social media, we're narcissists.
Yeah.
Because if we're looking for a like, we're narcissists.
Yeah.
But it's the volume of things that we do and the intent behind it that strengthens the fact that somebody's a narcissist. Kate and William have got a YouTube channel. Does that make them a narcissist? No. If Harry and Meghan set up a YouTube channel, would our view of them be different? I think it would. But that's because they're doing the YouTube channel on top of doing Spotify, doing Netflix, doing this. So we have a lot more areas as evidence to support that. But I think there's a lot of the issue here isn't just on, Meghan joining the royal family. She's coming from a world that actually has lived in the public eye and is about, you talk about A-listers in Hollywood. The royal family doesn't have an A-lister. They have heirs to the throne, but they know that. And what happens is you can't change it. Whereas, in Hollywood, you can work hard and you can up your ranking. However, In the royal family, the rank that you were born in sticks with you for life until somebody else is born after you that may push you down or up and down. But it's clear cut. No matter how hard you work, it isn't going to change. Whereas I think Meghan went into the royal family. I don't know, but I feel that maybe she had a belief that the royal family's hierarchy was the same system as the States and Hollywood, and therefore if she went in, she was able to maybe influence it and move up in the pecking order.
Yeah, quite possibly, and that's what she's still really trying to do. And or a simplification of this is that we operate out of love or fear, and there are two emotions, and they are either love or fear. So I believe that Kate operates out of love, compassion, love for herself first and foremost, and I believe that Meghan operates out of fear, and the fear of not being loved.
Yeah.
So it's a scarcity perspective, isn't it? Yeah.
So they are very, very different. But
Yeah.
just because you marry into a family doesn't mean to say you have to get on with your sister-in-law and your brother-in-law. There's nobody else on this planet who will understand Harry better than his brother, first of all, because he's the only other person in the world to experience what they've both experienced.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because he's lost his family now. If he loses Meghan, what has Harry got? Where does he go? He has no place to go now. The only place Harry could ever go would be back to his family. And the bridges he's burnt, I think his pride would prevent him from doing that, because I just think he's a very stubborn man, and he needs to swallow his pride in order to rebuild those bridges. Because if they did split up, and hopefully he's very happy and it goes on, but if something did go wrong, Meghan is made for life, but Harry is almost destroyed for life and lost for life.
Yeah. And if I think about it from my children and my family perspective, I hope that my children always support each other throughout the whole of their lives.
Absolutely.
And it's my dying wish that they are always there for each other, and that has been taken away from them. Yeah, and that makes me very sad.
Incredibly sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, another interesting discussion. I know. I love these chats. Again, so people, thank you again. I hope you have enjoyed, our little discussion. We've got lots more. We've got guest speakers galore. If you would like to be part of, this channel, this forum, we're now opening the doors for guest speakers. We've got them lined up already. I've got some amazing people who have requested to come on, join the channel. Come and be guest speaker for one of the videos. All you need to do is just email me, which is sue@sueblackhurst.com, and just give me a little bit of an intro into you, why you want to come on. We're not here to trash, so don't come on and think you're going to trash them. We're not here to trash. We're here to have sensible discussions. Email me, tell me a bit about you, and tell me something that you would like, you feel is a content or an area that you would like to raise and discuss. Don't forget, if you'd like to get on my waiting list for my 8-week Find Your Confidence course for women, again, email me with the words I want to find my confidence, to sue@sueblackhurst.com. Heidi, would you like to close today?
No. You're far better at it than me.
Thank you so much for watching. It's always lovely to have you on board. Don't forget, do like the video, leave your comments. We try and reply to as many as we possibly can, and we will see you all next time. Do take care. Bye-bye.
Great, but well done, Sue.
Oh, well done you. Enjoying it.
Very much. Good fun. Yeah, no, it feels right. And actually, as I was doing it, I actually got the goosebumps, which for me, and talking about it now, I've got the goosebumps. And that for me is my angels, my spirits telling me that I'm doing the right thing. I love that. So it's right. We'll do it for as long as we can.
So do you watch it with Jason? We
did. And you know what? It did make me laugh. Can I just give you a bit of feedback? And I went, can I just give you a bit of feedback? Who do you think you are? actually say it as nastily as that. In fact, I think I went, oh, I just didn't want to hear it. Isn't that awful? No, you can't.
What did it say?
He said, you need to ask more questions. I went, well, I didn't have any questions to ask. We were having a nice conversation.